Hey guys, this is Rawl from Rawl of the Dead Photography, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And I put it out on Instagram if you guys wanted to see how I edited this photo right here. And a lot of you guys responded that you did want to see how I edited, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump right in and I'll show you my editing techniques and how I edited this photo. So check it out. Hey guys, so let's jump right into it. The first thing I'm gonna do is remove the chromatic aberration, and then I'm gonna jump down here to the crop tool, and I'm gonna go ahead and level this. So if you hit level, you can hit the constrain crop and it'll crop it out for you. Then we're gonna add a gradient because right here on the left side it's a little bit too bright. So by adding this gradient, I'm gonna go ahead and lower the exposure on it. And I'm gonna add a little bit of highlights as well. So I'm actually putting in more highlights so it'll darken it a little bit more. So I'm gonna bring that down just a little bit. I just want to even out both sides. I'm gonna take another gradient and add it to the other side, and I'm gonna actually boost the exposure. So I'm gonna go up a little bit here and to about where I like it. I'm gonna move it over a little bit. About right there is kind of even. You can play around with this. If you ever see that your lighting is not even, you can use the gradient for that. Okay, so I'm gonna lower the exposure because I want it to be a little bit more dramatic. I'm gonna raise a little bit of the shadows, and then I'm gonna bring down some of the highlights. Bring up a little bit of the whites and a little bit of the blacks, and bring down the clarity as well. And what I always like doing is bringing down the vibrance and boosting up the saturation. That's sort of my secret sauce that I do my edits on. So I usually like doing this, raising saturation and lowering the vibrance. And then the curves, I usually just bring it down a little bit like an S curve. So I'm gonna add a couple of points here. Add a third one here, and I'm gonna bring that one down. Well, I'm gonna raise this up a little bit just to kind of give it a flat look and take some of the blacks out. And then I'm gonna jump over to the blue module on here. I'm gonna just add a few points here and just raise it just a hint of blue. So that's looking pretty good. I'm liking that. I'm gonna bring down some of the orange on the HSL panel and some of the yellow. So on the split toning, I'm gonna raise up a little bit of the yellow orange here. And it's just trying to find that nice balance. So you can see a little bit on her face and her hair, it's adding some color. On the shadows, I'm gonna boost that up around where the blue and teal is, and just kind of play around with that and see where I like it. I don't want to put too much on it, but just a little hint of it. I'm gonna put my masking up a little bit and put the noise reduction just a little bit, just to give it a little of a smooth look. And then I always like adding a little vignetting just to kind of hone down the image. And then I like to bring up the contrast. I'm all about contrast, so not too much, just a little bit, just to kind of add a little bit more drama to it. Bring down the highlights just a little bit. Okay, and then now I'm gonna do a little bit of dodge and burn. So I'm gonna jump over here to this other radiant here, and I'm gonna bring up those lights just a little bit more, kind of give it more of a pop. So I'm gonna add some saturation, and I'm gonna dehaze it so it has kind of more of a hazy look to it. I'm gonna play around with this hue a little bit, add a little bit more color to it. And then I'm gonna take another gradient here. I'm gonna just put it up on Batty and just gonna raise the exposure just a little bit on her so it's exposed correctly on her. and just play around with that a little bit. And I don't want to raise it too much. You don't want to go too crazy with this. And then I'm going to lower the exposure just a little bit. I'm going to take that bottle out. If you never use this tool, it's pretty handy. You don't have to do it in Photoshop. You can just do it right here. Just it's sort of a copy and paste. So it'll take out any small things that you don't want. So I'm just going to line it up here so it kind of has there you go. That looks good. I don't have to do too much there. A little dodge and burn here. I'm going to add a little bit of. I'm going to raise that up a little bit. Raise the exposure on this, and then add it to the second window. I'm going to duplicate that. You just right-click, and then move your cursor and move this to wherever you want. You can just play around wherever you think. This might be a little bit too much. I'm going to lower the exposure. I don't want to add too much of this, just enough to like give it some dynamic look to it. So I usually play around with this. It's just kind of more of feeling it out. I'm going to lower that exposure just a little bit more. I'm going to duplicate that and I add one here. Lower that. I don't want it too much, so I usually don't dodge and burn this much, but this, I really want to get that wall to really look kind of cool. Okay, and then I'm going to add a brush, and I'm going to add some clarity. So I'm going to bring out these walls a little bit more. So I'm just going to add this a little bit and kind of give it more of a clarity type of look to it. Then I'm going to go to the face, and I have this already saved in my presets. I have like a soft brush look, so I can just soften the face up. Then I'll add that just a little bit on here. So that looks pretty good. Let's see if there's anything else I'm missing here. Yeah, so this looks pretty good. So anyways, guys, that is it. This is the before and after. Let me know what you guys think. So this whole edit took about 5-6 minutes. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Thank you for watching.